जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवदगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सरस्वती श्रीमद अवैचनारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 20, text 17 to 20. From 17 to 19, there is no purport, so I'll read the verse and translation. Amoha viryo rajarshir mahishyam viryam adathe svabhute svapurang yata kalena sutatsa sutam. Translation. King Dushmanta, who never discharged semen without a result, placed his semen at night in the womb of his queen Shakuntala, and in the morning he returned to his palace. Thereafter, in due course of time, Shakuntala gave birth to a son. Verse 18. Kanvakumarasya vane chakre samuchita kriya badva mrihendram tarasa kridati sma sabhalakaha. In the forest, Kanva Muni performed all the ritualistic ceremonies concerning the newborn child. Later, the boy became so powerful that he would capture a lion and play with it. Text 19. Tang duratyaya vikrantam adaya pramodotama harer angsangsha sambhutam bhartur antikamagamat. Shakuntala, the best of beautiful women, along with her son, whose strength was as insurmountable and who was a partial expansion of the Supreme Godhead, approached her husband Dushmanta. Text 20. Please repeat. Yada na jagrihe raja Bharya putrau aninditau Shunvatam Sarvabhutanam Ke Vak Aha Asharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatang sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha saririni Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatang sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatang sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatam sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja putra vaninditau Shunvatam sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatam sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Kevaghaha sharirini Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Shunvatam sarva bhutanam Kevaghaha sharirini Matajis Yada na jagruhe raja Bharya putra vaninditau Kevaghaha sharirini Yada when na not jagruhe accepted Raja the king Dushmanta Bharya putrau his real son and real wife Aninditau not abominable not accused by anyone Shunvatam while hearing Sarva bhutanam all the people Ke in the sky Vak a sound vibration Aha declared Asharirini without a body. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A. Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation: when the king refused to accept his wife and son, who were both irreproachable, an unembodied voice spoke from the sky as an omen and was heard by everyone present. Purport: Maharaja Dushmanta knew that Shakuntala and the boy were his own wife and son, but because they came from outside and were unknown to the citizens, he at first declined to accept them. Shakuntala, however, was so chaste that an omen from the sky declared the truth so that others could hear. When everyone heard from the omen that Shakuntala and her child were truly the king's wife and son, the king gladly accepted them. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namane. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Idana Jagrihe Raja Bharya Putra Vanindhitau Shunvatang Sarva Bhutanam Kevagha Sharirini. When the child refused to accept his wife and son, who were both irreproachable, an unembodied voice spoke from the sky as an omen and was heard by everyone present. Hare Krishna. So, we are hearing from this chapter the dynasty of Puru. In the dynasty, we heard many about the names of many kings, and especially the king Dushmanta. Dushmanta's pastime is here described. And from the previous verses, we can understand that both Shakuntala and Dushmanta, they were agreed to marry, and then they married also. And it's mentioned that this marriage is according to religious principle, even though Maharaj Dushmanta came to the forest for some other purpose. Eventually he saw Shakuntala, and then both of them, they were accepted to marry, and then the marriage is called Gandharva marriage. This is according to religious principle. So they were married accordingly. And then you can see from this last few verses that after marriage, still, they were engaged in Garbhadan Samskar. They were not only while marrying, they are following the religious principle, while begetting child also, they properly, engaged, and then they begot a child. And this child, it's mentioned that this child is also so powerful. It's mentioned this boy was playing with lion. Usually for playing we will give some toys, some pet dogs, pet cats to the child, but here we can see this is a son of a king and also powerful. And it's also mentioned that this son is a partial expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is so powerful, he is playing with lion. And after that, some time, King Dushmanta, he went to his palace. And then Shakuntala and this boy, they were maintained by Kanva Muni in the forest. And after some time, this Shakuntala and the boy, both of them, they are approaching the palace to meet the king. And there, uh, we can see the king is not immediately accepting the wife and the boy, because they were married in the forest, and then citizens are present, and then these citizens are unaware of the marriage that happened. So the king has to be above suspicion. So the king, it's mentioned, Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport that the king Dushmanta knew that both of them are truly the wife, and then the boy also his son. But for some time he is not accepting the both of them. This we can see briefly after some time. Now one more thing, while after getting married, after performing in Garbhodhan Samskar, we can see even in begetting a child, we have to follow some religious principles. It's not just like that, after getting married, we should have a child just for sense gratification. We should not, engage in sexual activities. That also should be, it's mentioned what is the purpose of begetting a child in sexual affairs. It's mentioned that it's not for sense gratification, it's just for begetting a child and then bringing them in a Krishna consciousness. We have to bring the child in, give training in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, just for the enjoyment, if we engage in sexual activities and then beget child, then it's mentioned that the population will be, only we will get a Varna Shankara population. The child will be disturbance in the society. Then there will not be peace in the society. So we should follow these principles, these religious principles, while marrying also, while begetting the child also. Just not for the sake of, just for the formality, one should not get a child. And also it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that Guru nasasyat, Sajano nasasyat, Pita nasasyat, Janani nasasyat, Devam natachan, Napatishcha chaschan. So one should not, one who cannot deliver his dependent, from cycle of birth and death, then they should not become a parents, then they cannot become they should not become a guru or mother, or husband. If they are not able to deliver the dependents, then they should not take this position, because this position, it's very responsible position. So we should know that if we are begetting a child, we should make sure that we should give them training in Krishna consciousness, and then we have to give the proper training. Otherwise, one should not take this position of parents or a husband. This one should know. And then it's mentioned that a father is responsible for the son. He should come out of this repeated cycle of birth and death. And then in some cases we can see a father may be demoniac, and son, because of by the mercy of devotees and by the mercy of the Lord Krishna, they engaged in Krishna consciousness activities. And even though the father may be irresponsible or maybe a demonic in character, because of this son's, because son is performing a proper duty and engaging in Krishna consciousness, he can also deliver his father. Both are there. This we should know. So the ultimate aim is, one should free oneself from this repeated cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, there is no use. And here in this case, we can see the king Dushmanta is also religious, and then the son, he is also a religious king. He is also a good son. So both of them, they are exalted position. They are in exalted position. So this is, a very nice combination. And then, as I mentioned, this king, why he is immediately, when the own wife and son, they are approaching, immediately he's not accepting, because, as I mentioned, he want to set an example, because citizens are unaware of the marriage. So, if just like that, if a king accepts some woman, then people may criticize. So, to avoid that, just for names sake, for some time he is not accepting the both of them, and but after some time, you can see uh, uh, from woman from the sky, everyone, all the public, they heard the truth. But here we can see the king want to be ideal, so he want to set the ideal character. And in Bhagavad Gita also it's mentioned that yad yad acharti shreshtas tat tat eve tarojanaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. So, what are the examples that are set by the leaders? The common people follows. So, the leader should be ideal, especially this king. He should be ideal in character. And we can see in Vedic times, these Vedic kings, they cared for the citizens. They took care of them nicely. And we can see here, these Vedic kings, they are afraid of doing something against dharma. Actually, the king's qualities, they are bold, brave. But here, they don't want to. But the kings usually, if they want to do something adharmic activities, for that they are fearing. And then, but we can see the modern leaders how almost all of them have some suspicious things, in their life. Either they have, as a property issue, or having a girlfriend, some different affairs. So many people, many leaders in the current society, because they don't know the goal of life, because they don't have goal of life, they're having so many nonsense things. But and also we can see, as I mentioned, that previously the kings were so much dharmic, and then but now the leaders, they're not very fond of taking care of the Brahmanical culture. We can see from when we went in one of the temple in Tamil Nadu, there one pujari was very much like complaining. The whole day only he was alone as a pujari. It's one of the Divadesham temple only. It's in the village, but because it's in the remote village, people are not. The government is not getting much income, because government's tendency is in which temple we have good income, there they will do some appoint some many pujaris. But because this is in a remote village, even though it's a very good place, still that pujari was telling that this government is not giving proper ingredients also to offer. Because why? Because their need is, what is the profit? In whatever way, if we get some profit, that there we can spend more schemes. And also we can see how much they are investing in wine shops, promoting that, keeping wine shops and then getting profit. Because leaders, they don't know the goal of life, and they are acting in this way. And even in educational field also, these educational leaders, when we approach some schools and colleges, sir, we have to give some classes based on Bhagavad Gita, we have to teach them good things. They were hesitating, this is according to some religious things you are going to spread, we are sectarian. They speak like that. But they are not very, they are very much fond of bringing some, film star or, some entertainers. If they come to their college and then they give some, speech, or if they perform some recreational activities, by saying that, many people will get attracted. So for that they will give, for dance performance. For that, they can give easily permission and then they will conduct some programs. But if you want to have some religious program, they want to teach some good things, they are not, they are very much hesitating. And just nearby this, here in Government College, there was one Muslim principal, and when the devotees approached, since she was a little pious, so she gave the permission because she was a warden also, hostel warden also. She saw how the boys are getting degraded in their hostel, how they are, and they also don't have solution to that, to build their character of the students. So some pious people like that, they behave like this. But mostly, currently in Kali Yuga, many people are hesitating to have such kind of programs. And when we speak about this ideal character of the kings, these kings, they don't want to remain as a king forever. No, until death, they don't want to be in their position. When time comes, they retire also. This also we can see. Nowadays, when even the political leaders, whatever leaders, they want to be in their position. They want name, fame until they die, because they were so much attached to these things. But these Vedic kings, they set examples. One should not be very much attached to the worldly affairs. At one point of time, we have to give attachment to these worldly things, and we have to take the highest goal. We have to think about the highest goal. And this also, we can see there are many examples like King Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj was there, Bharat Maharaj was there. So many examples were given in this Srimad Bhagavatam. So here, the point is, here the king, he just want to prove that this Shakuntala and the boy, this connection as a husband and wife, this is not illicit. This is proper only. He want to prove that. So for that sake, for some time, in the beginning he was, externally he was, like rejecting them. This we can see from the example of, even Lord Ram. He asked, when rumors was spread outside that, how Sita, he was with Ravana, whether she maintained chastity. So some rumors were going around. When Lord, after Sita enters the fire, the first test was over. But after that also still, some rumors were going. At that time also Ram, like banished Sita. So this we can see, just to set the example, they were so much want to set the example that the character of the king, the citizens should not, unnecessarily, suspect the king. Because if suspicion was there, then there will not be any respect. This we should know. And here, from this purport, we can understand that one more main thing is that here, from the woman, the truth came to all the public. This was happened. The proper justice was given here because Shakuntala was chaste. This is a very important thing. It's an important quality of a woman. It's not that because a woman, because she is beautiful, because she is from a rich background, her father is a king. Not because of these reasons this truth was given. Because she was chaste, the proper justice was given here. And if a woman, if she remains chaste, if all the women remain chaste in the society, then the society will run smoothly. There will be peace in the society. Even Chanakya Pandit, he also mentions that there are 4 enemies in household life. That the father who is indebted to someone is an enemy. And unchaste wife is also an enemy. Beautiful wife and then a foolish son. These 4 people, these are all 4 enemies in household life. And especially this, if a wife is unchaste, then the population, the children will be, Varna Shankara population. and then the problem begins. And also, this sexual appetite is there in both male and female. Is there? It's natural. But still, you know, if we don't, if we dwell in the service of Krishna, you know, just for begetting a Krishna conscious child, then you know, then it's the proper way. It is a channeling the desire in a proper way. So everyone should know this process. And then in the Puranas and then from Srimad Bhagavatam we can learn many chaste women, like Gandhari, for example. She's a daughter of a king, but when she was told that her husband, will be blind, she immediately, oh, my husband is blind, so how I can enjoy by seeing? So I also wrap my eyes with a cloth. So she doesn't want to see the world, even though she came from she's a queen, she's a princess, she's a daughter of a king, but still she want to be, she want to serve faithfully. She don't want to dominate the husband. And also we can see after Vidura give teachings to the Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra went to the forest, and then he, because of mystic yoga, he was burning in fire, so he was leaving the world, and Gandhari, after saying, oh, my husband is died in fire, so she also want to enter the fire. This practice of a woman, a chaste woman entering into the fire, it's practiced before, but nowadays it's like a formality. Someone forcefully ask the woman to enter the fire, and it became a criminal affair. This should not be done, because this chaste woman like Gandhari, she was entering into the fire because she felt that the separation from her husband is more, it's burning more than the fire. So she, because of this kind of character, because of this kind of feelings, they are performing this kind of activities. But nowadays, people are not having this much feelings. And then also in Kali Yuga, we cannot force the woman, oh, you should follow this. Then it's of course a criminal. It will become a criminal activity. And also Mother Sita, we can see, when Ram was banished to the forest, she was not asked to go along with him, but still she went along with Ram, because a chaste wife is not concerned about bodily comforts. They want to be with their husband, and this is the ideal quality of a woman. And from these characters, we can learn how a woman should behave, how a woman should be faithful to her husband. And also from Srimad Bhagavatam, we have many examples, like Prithu Maharaj's wife Archi. She also entered the fire, and then Shukanya, Chavan Muni's wife. She also, we can see, she was given a old husband, means old person, almost like he's like a grandfather to Shukanya. Still Shukanya, not oh, why I have to have an old husband, I cannot enjoy, not like that. She accepted him as an husband, and then she served also. And this character, the Chavan Muni, is not like a normal person. He is so irritable, he is so much irritable in character, but still she serves her husband nicely. And then this hearing these stories, one should learn how one should be faithful to the husband. And also after some time, this Ashwini Kumaras helped the Chavan Muni to get his youth back. And then three of them, they appeared before Shukanya, and she was confused, she was bewildered because she couldn't identify who is her husband. And then, not that, okay, both three of them are handsome, three of them are beautiful, we can ask anyone as husband. No, not like that. What she did, she took shelter of Ashwini Kumaras, so please show who is our husband. So they left, and then she took her husband, and she was living with her. And after some time, when he comes, he saw that, oh, Shukanya, you are living with a young man now. I married to you old man, but now you are living with a young man. So you are not proper, you are unchaste. So he started, blaspheming her. You can see the character, of the proper, how was the character? Huh? Even king, he was chastising. Oh, you should not do this. Even though you are king, you should not do this. And then later, the truth was revealed to him, and then he was peaceful. But the point is like this. So Vedic culture is like this. The woman has to be chaste. Otherwise, they know the society will become in a chaotic condition. They knew this culture. And then in one of the purports, Prabhupada gives the meaning, give the definition for the word Dharma Patni. Dharma Patni is a chaste wife who never had any connection with men before marriage. So this is the definition for Dharma Patni. But because in young ages, if men and women mixes freely, then for women it's difficult to maintain the chastity. If you mix with many men in the young age, then one cannot remain as chaste to her husband, because it's like fire. The relation between men and women, it's explained, it's compared to butter and fire. When the butter is brought near the fire, it melts. So it's a problem. Nowadays we can see because of this co-education, both boys and girls, they were studying in same colleges, same classrooms, and then they were freely mixing. And the girl, before her marriage, had many boyfriends. And how, once you are having some relation with a man, it will not go from the mind. So how you can remain as chaste wife to her own person? It's difficult. So, and also in schools, it's thought that, oh, woman, why you should be submissive? You should not be submissive. These things are taught in the schools. Because of this, because of free mixing, lust becomes prominent, and then there is no peace in mind, and then the whole family life later becomes like a hellish condition. When I was studying in college, one of my friend told me that he went to like industrial visit, IV, they will conduct. So mostly they want to enjoy. They're even going outside, they want to enjoy. So industrial visit means they will go for some industries, and then they will go for some other recreational activities. And then, means at least at that time, I was very much shocked to hear that these boys, they want to enjoy, they want to drink, separate this. Even the teachers, they separately, and then this students, they want to enjoy separately. And then I heard that even this girls, they also want to drink. This habit is now it's coming. The girls, they are also drinking. And if people if they are drinking, then how one can remain chaste? It's not possible. So this whole this culture is lost. If the women are not thought to be chaste, then it's difficult. It's not even in the human platform. It's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that sattvam sanjayate jnanam. Because if one remains as a chaste, it's in sattva guna. If And from this sattva guna, this spiritual consciousness develops. And if one cannot have this culture, if one cannot have this habits, then we cannot think of anything spiritual. Before one are given training, you have to be Sita, you have to be Mother Sita. So this training was given before. But nowadays, you are, they set example like seeing this film star, you want to be like I want to be like a film star. Like they have this culture. But we can see their culture. These film stars, we can see practically. They want to impress others. A woman who wants to attract many men, what we can call, she's a prostitute, correct? So if one wants to, showing the body to others, dancing with many men, so, but nowadays, you have to be like a film star. So it's great, it's like a great ambition. But these are all going on. And then one more thing, this not only that woman has to be chaste and they have to behave properly. Not like even men also. They also have to be faithful. They also have to be faithful. Even in spiritual life, we can see both men and women. They are under spiritual master. They should behave properly. They should follow the instructions. In a spiritual life, a disciple should be a chaste devotee. We can say faithful to the spiritual master. When a spiritual master, we are taking a vow. I have to chant 16 rounds daily. I should hear Bhagavatam. I should follow the 4 regulative principles. These are the vows we are taking during the initiation. And as a chaste disciple, we should follow the instructions of spiritual master. This also has to be done. So, regarding chastity, these are some things. And then we should be faithful, and then we should be firm in our execution of devotional practice, because Maya gives many tests. But if we fall victim to the Maya, then we will lose our chastity in serving of the spiritual master. So one should be strict in following the regulative principles, and in this way, in spiritual life we have to advance. So this should be our goal of life. So these are some points I discussed about this chastity. So I'll finish here. So any questions, comments?
Nowadays, nobody can even imagine those days. Even in the villages, we can see if a woman is out after the evening, 6 p.m., the father or the family, they will not take her back. That was such a great culture we had here. Nowadays, it's unimaginable. But that shows how the women were protected. That was one thing. And another point that I remember was just 2 days back, I was reading a little bit from Ramayana. This Jatayu, although he was very old and was very weak, he had no capacity to fight actually, he does not have so much strength. But through that incident, apart from there being the transcendental personalities, Mother Sita, she's internal energy herself. Jatayu also is a great devotee of the Lord. But one thing we can see that they could not tolerate that women being polluted. So that shows even in that old age, in that situation also, he was ready to protect. So we can also see from, you go through the entire, the Bhagavatam and other scriptures, that the chastity of women, the protection of women, and then the training in chastity, so much importance is given. And then we can see such chaste women, and there is no need something externally to prove, and they are so chaste, even like you have here, the voice from the sky is proving their chastity. And because of the chastity, as you said, the whole society will be in proper perspective. It's so much so within our society, within our community, good training should be given to the girls and to the boys as well, to be very responsible then we can set good examples in the society, and also people will be completely, they will see by example that, yes, there is, even as a married couple, you can practice Krishna conscious and you can be Krishna conscious and you can lead a happy life. Otherwise, it's really miserable. When the boy is untrained, girl is untrained, then the marriage that happens, it becomes so much chaos. So we can, every time, every verse we learn from Bhagavatam, we see so much lessons that we gain. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
गौतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.